Imagine going on vacation to the beach and it is littered with trash, cigarette butts, empty cans, broken glass, and plastic. Our beautiful and pristine beaches would become a trash dump if we do not decide to make a change in how we treat our environment. I have been researching the past months on the effects of the ocean pollution that it has on animals, human health, and our ocean environment. Littering is one of the most common ways for our oceans to become destroyed. The amount of trash that's collected over decades is now getting worse, and we see it in our communities, such as trash on the side of the road and highways. There are 1 million sea animals that die a year due to plastic waste, chemicals and continuous trash that goes into the oceans. The sea creatures' homes are being destroyed by humans who litter. There has been many issues with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere that's affecting sea creatures. A book written by Mason G. in 2010 called Poisoning and Acidification of Earth's Oceans, published by Nova Science Publishers, says, with increasing concentrations of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the extent of the effects on ocean and marine resources is increasing the concern, as well as disruption to the marine food webs and reproductives. The only solution to this is to care for our environment and inform others on this problem. There's a low level of oxygen, oil spills, and dumping materials is creating many issues into our oceans. There has been a risk exposure to chemical weapons that is being dumped into the ocean that kills animals and plants. In the same book by Mason, the U.S. enacted the MPRSA to regulate disposal of waste in oceans. It utilizes a comprehensive and uniform waste management system to regulate disposal of dumping sewage sludge, waste, pipeline discharge, and runoff into oceans. Even though they made the act, it has still not made it better for our oceans. There's an 80% of waste dumped into our oceans, which adds up to about 2 million tons a year. The waste adds up in our ocean and kills our sea life. In an article by Sherry Mason called Plastic Everywhere, was published in 2021 by Nutrition Action Health Letter, where the author answers questions about how plastic destroys our ocean life. A question stood out and said, do plastics harm marine animals? Yes. You have probably seen pictures of sea turtles with straws up their nose, and many reports of beached whales with stomachs full of plastic debris, such as plastic bags, cups, and netting. And such in this picture, we see how that is accurate. It is sad to know how people who do not care about our environment is making animals suffer from it. Since we learned the importance of dump control and how it kills our sea animals, let's cover how littering affects us humans. Imagine eating seafood and you become extremely sick. This is becoming more common nowadays due to ocean pollution. There's been a rapid growth on food supply from sea animals. In a book called Hester and Harrison, they wrote about the marine pollution and human health, published in 2011 by Royal Society of Chemistry. The marine environment currently provides beneficial goods and services to mankind, but it is also a risk to health of coastal publications. Humans have been gotten worse health due to the consumption of contaminated seafood. That takes a major effect on the growth of humans. Another quote from Hester and Harrison's is, the direct consumption of pollutants and toxins in the human food sources, such as fish and shellfish, provides a pathway on the impact of human health. Once people consume the contaminated seafood, it affects their health and ruins their immune system. Just the North Pacific Ocean has over 2 trillion plastic pieces in it, and it's getting out of hand. Another way that this is affecting human health is through the development of their bodies and brains. In an article called Human Health and Ocean Pollution by Landranian et al., was published in 2020 by Annals of Global Health States, exposures to the pollutants through material consumption and contaminated seafood can damage our developing brains, reduce our IQ, increase the risk for children to get autism, ADHD, and learning disorders. There has been also an increased number of bacteria pathogens caused from litter, sewage, and architecture that is getting into our seafood. So now that we have covered the ocean pollution, how that affects us humans, let's see how the ocean pollution affects our environment. The ocean environment, there has many different explanations for why it is becoming destroyed. There has been an increased amount of waterborne illnesses that alter after rainfall. The rain absorbs the illnesses from sewage and has caused people and our ocean animals to become sick. Due to these outbreaks, there has been a failure in drinking water treatments, monitoring, and human air. In an article by Haley Olds et al., created a research article about high levels of sewage contamination published by the PLOS Medicine in 2018. Waterborne pathogens are carried in a fecal pollution by humans and animals. Humans can be affected by drinking contaminated water, and stormwater systems have been found to be contaminated with sanitary sewage as a result of infiltration of leaking sewage, resulting to an untreated sewage going directly into our water. Another quote from Haley's article says, studies estimate there are 11 to 19 million cases of GI illnesses that drinking water has contaminated with it. It is scary to know that our water may not be safe to drink anymore. Using plastic and disposing it into our environment leads to an enormous amount of damage. When plastic is littered, it does not decompose. It breaks into little pieces called microplastics. When it absorbs toxins and chemicals, it stays into our environment. Leah Karpus came out with an article that talks about the plastic in our oceans, which was published in 2012 by Canada's Natural Health and Wellness magazine. These components don't mix with water. They stick to plastic, so it becomes toxic over time. It's mind-blowing to know how one piece of plastic can become so bad for you, animals, and the environment. Changing your behavior by throwing your trash away, recycling, not using plastics, switching to metal straws, and much more can help fix all of our problems with the pollution. It is important to keep our oceans clean. So in all, taking time to research more ways to care for our environment will help save our oceans. Hopefully you now understand how serious this issue truly is and how it destroys our oceans, animals, and hurts our health. Now, it's your turn. It's your turn to use this information and use it to your benefit by telling your friends and family all about this serious issue. We are the only ones who can make a change, so now it's your turn to give back and help our environment. Thank you.